Elements by Rejax on AO3. Chapter 14. Chapter 13. Katsuki stood by the rice cooker with several bowls the following morning. Camera crew already filming. The crew was surprised he was the first and only one up out of the group. Whistling, he placed rice in the bowls, followed by a mixture of chicken, egg, and onion on top. "I made a lot of rice," he said on film, finishing off the last bowl. "And since we'll be leaving him with his aunt today because of our shoot, I'm thinking of packing some onigiri for him." Katsuki closed the lid of the rice cooker and looked straight at the closest camera. "I'm gonna rank the true number one in his heart real soon." This earned some chuckles from the crew. He would be lying if he said Koda didn't have a soft spot in his heart. Katsuki hadn't expected it to happen, but he found the child relatable with how he himself used to be. The only difference was that, while Katsuki had been more open with his grievances as a child, Koda was more closed off, regardless of who he liked more in the group. By the end of these 3 months, he hoped the child would be more open with his smiles and would trust them more. Katsuki surprised himself by having these kind of thoughts at all. "Anyways, food's all done, so let's get everyone out of bed." Koda was already out of bed and getting dressed on his own when Katsuki checked on him. "Hey, kiddo, want to help wake everyone up?" Koda looked up from his shirt he was trying to button up, failing to get the buttons in the correct holes. The blonde kneeled before him. "Need any help?" "No," Koda snapped, making another attempt to fix his shirt before looking up helplessly at the man in defeat. He let Katsuki fix his buttons and murmured afterwards, "Thank you." Katsuki ruffled his hair in response. "Come on." Shoto was already awake, with a day off from the film, but still had their music video shoot. He smiled and awkwardly patted Koda's head while the boy greeted him. Denki woke when Koda accidentally tripped and landed on his stomach. Izuku was more difficult to fully wake up. The moment Koda nudged him, the redhead pulls him into his arm for a snuggle and goes back to sleep. Koda let out a noise, squirming in his hold. "Izuku, get up!" "5 more minutes." The boy kicked him hard in the stomach, forcing Izuku to let go of him so he could curl up in pain. "Why?" Koda didn't answer as he pushed himself up and walked over to Deku's curled up form. He looked back at Katsuki with a frown. "You know," Katsuki said, "he'll wake up if you give him a kiss." The kid frowned even more, forming a near-perfect upside-down U with his lips. "You do it. I don't wanna." Out of the corner of his eyes, he noticed Izuku shoot up. He kept his gaze on Koda, noting the child was looking back as if it were a challenge. "If you insist." The moment Katsuki took a step over, Koda held out a hand to stop him. "No!" "Oh, but you said—" I'm awake, I'm awake," Deku murmured, rubbing his face. Sitting up, he looked at Koda and smiled. "Good morning, Koda." The boy did not respond, began to walk away. Katsuki placed a hand on his head to stop him. "Someone just greeted you, kiddo. What do you say in return?" He remembered his younger years, how he blew off people who greeted him, how his mother would scold him for being rude. Koda wasn't his own kid, but Katsuki's father reminded him that he was still a child. He was still growing, and was now in the care of people who were still in the process of maturing themselves. This kid's development was terrifyingly in their hands, whether there were cameras around or not. That freaked Katsuki out. "I don't want to." "Koda." The air was thick, and everyone was silent. "I don't want to." The boy said again. "Kachan, it's fine." "No, it's not fine." Katsuki frowned, keeping his hand on Koda's head. "When someone greets you, you greet them in return, Koda. What do you say to Izuku?" Koda kept his mouth shut and stubbornly wiped his eyes. Seeing this, Katsuki let him go and sighed. The air grew thicker. Izuku took Koda outside to cheer him up, and Katsuki stayed behind to finish making the boys lunch. When one of the film crew asked him how he felt about the situation, he only responded, "I'm just a kid too." Just because I'm one of his favorites doesn't mean I already know how to handle him. They were driving to their shoot after dropping Koda off. During breakfast, the child sat himself next to Shoto, but kept to himself. Admittedly, Katsuki felt bad as they ate, but he had no idea what to do about the situation. Would it have been better if he yelled? His mother would yell at him, even as an adult, but he always yelled back and never listened anyways. His father suggested against yelling and to just speak to the child instead of at him. But how the hell did that work? Staring at his reflection in the dressing room as he slipped on his shirt for the music video, he jolted when he saw Deku behind his reflection. Shit, Deku. Sorry. The dark-haired man stood beside him, already dressed with makeup applied. Are you okay, Kachan? Why wouldn't I be? There was the thing earlier with Koda. I know, and it pisses me off. Katsuki wanted to frown, but the makeup artist that just stepped up beside him would tell him off for making a face. What the hell are you supposed to do when a kid is just won't? Whatever it is, I'm sure you'll figure it out, Kachan. Deku tried not to laugh at the dirty look the taller male gave him. Don't you dare use me as an easy way out, nerd. Deku snorted. Well, alright then, Blondie. Katsuki's dirty look nearly transformed into a full-on scowl until the makeup artist politely asked him to keep a straight face. STP. Video. Sneak peek for Elements PV for new single Secret Summer. Narrator. The boys of Elements are back with their fun new single, Secret Summer. We've been given the chance to go behind the scenes of their music video. Shot switches to Elements energetically filming activities meant for the summertime. Todoroki voiceover. As song plays in the background. Long story short, it's about a summer love. This person had met someone beforehand, and they were looking forward to spending the rest of their summer with them. Shot switches to Kirishima. Kirishima. Thinking I have some rapping parts this time around, so look forward to some emotional shots to the heart. Bang bang. Shot switches to Midoriya and Kaminari laughing during filming. Narrator. Just like their debut song, the lyrics to the single were written by Midoriya and composed by the whole group. Shot switches to Kaminari. Kaminari. We're lucky to have Izuku on our team, and even luckier that UA actually lets us use our own songs. We're really hoping fans can see us as an inspiration in that aspect. Shot switches to the group once more, singing to the music before switching to Kirishima nodding along to the music, winking at the camera. Shot switches to Todoroki laughing as Bakugou drapes an arm over his shoulder. Kaminari comes up behind them and makes a face towards the camera, only to be bulldozed into by Kirishima. Kirishima forces them all into a group hug that topples everyone to the floor. Midoriya walks over with some tennis rackets as if he hadn't just seen what happened. Shot switches to Midoriya. Midoriya. Secret Summer is more energetic and fun than Four Seasons. Regardless of whether or not you have that summer love, I hope it brings a smile to your face when you hear it. Bakugou comes up behind him and wraps an arm around him from behind to pull him away. Bakugou. You're needed on set. Midoriya. Lets himself be pulled along. Hope you enjoy it. Waves to the camera. Bakugou. Support your favorite artist by buying their music. Midoriya. Laughs and shoves him away so he could walk on his own. Comments. This span is full of skinship and I'm all about that noise. Did you see Bakugou smile? Response to did you see? Didn't you see Shoto-kun's angelic smile? Response to didn't you see? I've never seen him so happy. Response to I've never seen. Right? I never noticed when he was solo, but he definitely looks a lot happier. Response to right, I never. This whole group is just so happy and precious. It's like what happened after they debuted never even happened. Response to this whole group. Seriously though, Bakugou wasn't even gone for more than a few weeks after that nonsense happened, and now he's working so hard here. How are any of them human? We are not worthy. Never forget this. Link to clip from their present mic interview. Bakugou complaining about giving fangirls fodder. Response 2, never forget this. R.I.P. Old Katsuki will not be missed. Response 2, never forget this. His near-death experience probably messed with some wires in his head, and his heart grew 3 times its sizes, lol. Koda stuck to Shota's side that night, showing him an action figure he bought from his auntie's house, a character Shota played before his solo debut, in a film based off of his superhero hits, Masquerade Ranger. His adoration for Shota made a lot of sense. Katsuki related to that. Hell, the entire group did. Deku should relate the most because of how much he worshipped All Might. With how much Koda was sticking to him, Shota was the one to pull him to bed. The rest of the group sprawled on the futons, exhausted, as their leader comes into their shared bedroom. Tomorrow you're going back to film, right? Denki sighed sadly. What are we gonna do without you? You'll manage. Shoto sat on his own futon. Just listen to what he has to say. Katsuki chewed on his thumbnail. He noticed Deku shift from the corner of his eye. What if he just refuses to say anything? The leader only smiled. Give him time. Katsuki didn't like that answer. You're a failure, Kachan. You're a failure, Kachan. The blonde woke with a gasp and covered his mouth, instantly aware of where he was and that he didn't want to wake anyone. Steadying his breathing, he turned to face Deku, eyes adjusting in the darkness. He realized he wasn't there. He didn't move for a moment, assuming the man was just at the toilet, but the longer time passed, the angstier he became. Being as quiet and carefully as possible to not bump into anything or anyone, he crept out of the room. The light in the hallway was on, and no one was in the bathroom. No one was in the living room. Katsuki heard murmurs coming from Koda's room, and the more he listened, the more the murmurs sounded like singing. Was Deku singing a lullaby? The door was cracked, but he didn't touch it. Instead, he leaned against the wall and continued to listen, closing his eyes. Koda hiccuped softly as Deku sang. From the sound of the boy's shaky breath, he had been crying earlier. By the time the singing stopped, Katsuki was unaware of how long he had been standing there, just that even he almost drifted off. Everything was still for a moment, before he heard light, slow footsteps moving towards a door, and he stepped away to give the other room to leave. Deku didn't notice him standing there until after he shut the door. The blonde smirked the moment Deku jumped and clutched his chest. Kachan! The whisper that spilled is filled with relief. Sorry. Katsuki ruffled his hair. What happened? Deku responded by taking his hand. Can we talk outside? The story came out as soon as they left the house, standing side by side on the porch. I had trouble sleeping, so I was gonna go out to get some air. As Deku spoke, he lightly pressed their thighs together. Katsuki appreciated the warmth. But I heard him crying, and all I know is that it was because of his parents. All you know? He didn't give me all the details, the dark-haired man said. Just that they're never around very much and he misses them. Deku leaned back on his hands, and he looked up at the stars. If I remember correctly, they were both in the police force, so he doesn't see them often. He continued. Which is why he's staying with his aunt, who tends to be busy herself, so they still have to hire someone to watch him. Katsuki leaned back as well, mimicking Deku's posture. Now he's stuck with us, and even we're busy. We're also probably the ones spending the most time with him out of everyone else in his life, until this is over. The man's voice grew quieter. Let's say we do get close to him and he opens up to us. What's going to happen to him afterwards? Katsuki's throat tightened. He'll be well taken care of by a nanny, but what good is it to give him something to learn to believe in and tear it away afterwards? Deku's voice kept steady. He's given everything he points his finger at, but only because he can't ever have his parents with him. Katsuki wrapped an arm around him and pulled him closer. Deku rested his head on his shoulder, dropping his own 2 hands onto his lap. Only the sound of Deku's light sniffling could be heard through the stillness, until Katsuki spoke up. He's a spoiled, lonely little brat. He meant no malice, rubbing at his boyfriend's arm. Doesn't mean he's free to charge through life without any damn manners. Deku chuckled softly. Shut up. Don't stress about that now. In the morning, then? You'll make him cry again. He's 5. At this point, we have to feed it to him like... Katsuki stopped and snapped his fingers. Like an airplane. Kachan. I guess I'm the pilot this time, since I'm the only one here who cares about teaching the kid how to say good fucking morning. At this point, he was just saying it to make Deku laugh. It worked. The next morning, Koda went to his routine of waking everyone up. Shida was already awake, and about to head off for filming, but he stayed back with the camera crew to watch. Koda nudged Denki awake, tripped on Ichiro, stepped on Katsuki's stomach, and stopped at Deku. Rubbing his stomach, Katsuki was still half asleep as he watched the child plant a kiss to Deku's temple and nudge him. Izunan, wake up. Bang, and my heart goes ba-da-bum. Love truly is a super expression, feelings expanding to the fullest. My victory will be with a straight ball. Summertime. Secret Summer. End chapter 13. Wow, okay. So Koda still has parents, but like they're non-present parents, and that's... Ooh, okay. You know, maybe it's better if they're dead. Maybe it's better if they're dead. No. This hurt. Oh, this breaks my heart. This breaks my heart. This actually breaks my heart. Like, deeply, deeply breaks my heart. Oh my god. I can't even imagine, like, kids really do, like, well, I mean, anybody needs, a certain person to look up to go to for guidance and stuff like that. But specifically kids, they need their parents. Right? They need that validation from an adult, and if they don't have a certain adult to get that, or their adults in their life are not present in their life, this could stem some really, really bad habits and really, really bad not personality traits, but like it could stunt their development and stuff, and it could very much make them emotionally invulnerable, like how Koda definitely is right now. He's emotionally not stunted, but like he's not opening up to people, right? Because why open up to people when he knows that they're just going to leave, right? He's gonna probably develop some attachment issues and stuff like that, and my heart breaks. I really hope that Koda gets a happy ending. My heart breaks. Oh my god. That's all I have to say on notes. Obviously, Dream Deku's back. Again, voice actor me is like, yay, I get to voice act, you know, a little evil Izuku. Okay. But what's it called? Obviously, Mimi is like, no! Izuku, like, poor Katsuki has to go through that again, but like, obviously, actor me does not give a shit. Actor me is like, yeah, let's go! Sorry for that noise. I would love to blame it on my cat, but it was not my cat. In fact, it's my brother. You want to say hi? Okay, I don't even think that picked it up. You have to get closer for it to pick up.
I don't want to say hi.
There he is. There he is.
No,
but
let's touch.
Okay, don't make me kick you out. But as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or a night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.